Viewer discretion is advised.
Boom, perfect timing.
Golda Barton called 911 requesting help for her 13-year-old son, Lyndon Cameron, who was experiencing a mental health crisis at their home in Salt Lake City, Utah. Lyndon had been diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome and suffered from sensory processing disorder. Miss Barton specifically requested a crisis intervention team and informed dispatch that Lyndon was unarmed and afraid of police. She warned that Lyndon had been traumatized by the police killing of his grandfather earlier that year. Officers from the Salt Lake City Police Department arrived, including Officer Matthew Farillas. Shortly after arriving, Lyndon ran from the home in a panic. Officer Farillas chased Lyndon on foot. Moments later, Officer Farillas fired 11 shots, striking Lyndon at least 6 times. Lyndon was hit in the shoulder, ankle, intestines, and other areas. He was unarmed. Body cam footage captured Lyndon crying out, "I don't feel good. Tell my mom I love her."
Hi.
Okay, I'm gonna hang up. Okay. Thank you. Hey, bye.
What's going on? Are you sure it's a BB gun?
I don't know if it's a BB gun. I don't know if it's a pellet gun. I don't know if it's a prop weapon. He's my other son.
But you don't know if it's a real gun either.
It's. I don't believe it's a real gun. I don't believe it's a real gun.
So unfortunately, we have to kind of treat them all as if
Right.
they are.
I know.
What is it that you want from us tonight?
We need him to go to the hospital. I need him to go to the hospital. I cannot get in there on my own. But I think this is the best thing
You
because...
understand he doesn't like law enforcement?
No, not at all. It's a trigger. Like, I mean, he sees the badge and he automatically thinks, like, you're going to kill him. Or he has to defend himself in some way. Like, he freaks out. And he's got sensory disorder. So, but we have to do what we have to do because I can't live like this, literally.
Sure.
It's just can't happen.
We'll go talk to him.
So, great. And then, yeah, I would like him transported to primary children's if we can do that. That would be great.
There's tenants in the upstairs, so we're going to end up making contact with them.
Okay.
You want to watch the side?
Yeah, I got you
I'm
guys.
not sure how to do it.
Hey, I got movement in the backyard, Todd. Hey, please, stop running! 142. Push the suit, guys going southbound. Hold.
There you go. Do you leave the backyard?
122, restrict the area. We got a foot pursuit. Male in all black, running southbound.
Let me see your hands!
Hey, go around. Please stop! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! On the ground now! On the ground!
Hey,
Show me your hands! Show me your hands!
I don't feel good.
Show me your hands!
Come on, Mom, I love her.
Officers did not immediately render aid, citing uncertainty about whether he was armed. Lyndon was transported to the hospital in critical condition. News of the shooting spread rapidly, sparking national outrage over the use of force against a disabled child. Disability advocates, mental health experts, and civil rights organizations demanded an independent investigation and police reform.
The officer fired 11 shots. Bullets tore through Lyndon's shoulder, both ankles, intestines, and bladder, but he survived.
Come on, Mom, I love her.
He was running away. He was running away.
Officers confronted him in his backyard, and he ran. His mother had warned the officers that her son feared police because sheriff's deputies shot and killed her father in January.
I mean, he sees the badge and he automatically thinks, like, you're going to kill him. Or he has to defend himself in some way. Like,
2 of the officers expressed concern about approaching him.
Honestly, we can call Sergeant and tell him the situation because I'm not about to get in a shooting because he's upset.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
Police released the body camera footage Monday. Chief Mike Brown called for more resources to deal with the mental health crisis.
As a police department, we want to be partners with those who provide mental health services. As a community, we need to find a way forward.
he's a small child. Why don't you just tackle him? You are big police officers with massive amounts of resources. Come on, give me a break.
What was it like for you to watch that video?
The worst thing I've ever watched in my life.
His father, Michael Cameron, says his little buddy has a long road to recovery ahead of him.
He has a heart of gold. You know, even when he was a baby, he tried to do all the stuff I did. And he's definitely grown up to be an awesome young man.
How do you see being able to help him move on from this?
It's going to take a lot of work, I'm afraid. And, you know, it's going to be tough for him.
In October of 2020, Lyndon's family filed a federal civil rights lawsuit against the city of Salt Lake, Officer Matthew Farillas, and the Salt Lake City Police Department. The lawsuit alleged excessive force, negligence, and failure to accommodate Lyndon's mental health disability.
An update now on the case of a teenage boy with autism getting shot by Salt Lake City police. The boy's parents are now filing a lawsuit against the police department. The family's attorney wants to see more training for responding to mental health situations.
There was no attempt here by the officer to use anything but his loaded gun. There was no de-escalation procedure or process that happened. In fact, the officer instead tried to, aggravated the situation by using threatening words and actions.
The lawsuit claims the boy suffered permanent arm paralysis, disfigurement, ankle injuries, as well as internal organ damage. After the shooting, Salt Lake City Mayor Aaron Mendenhall announced all body cam videos of police use of force will be automatically uploaded to the department's website.
In September of 2022, Salt Lake City agreed to pay $3 million to settle the civil lawsuit filed by Lyndon Cameron's family. The settlement was intended to cover Lyndon's long-term care, therapy, and medical expenses.
Please, do not take my son. You cannot take my son from me, please.
Show me your hands!
I get woken up to my door getting kicked in by my mom. She's saying, "Your brother's dead, your brother's dead."
The night when my son got shot was the night that he left. My son was gone.
Golda means her son has never and will never act the same since the shooting. The trauma involved has scarred him for life.
He's not the nice little kid he used to be. It's horrible because I, like my little friend, my little brother, he's just so upset all the time.
They've ruined him. Like they've ruined his spirit.
Wes Barton, Lyndon's older brother, says his life has changed forever too. His family continues to have struggles dealing with the aftermath. They don't think the $3 million settlement is good enough. His family says they feel they need an apology.
He wants justice to be done. He wants justice to be served. He wishes that, what happened to him will never happen to anybody else and that he can finally get some closure for himself.
They still struggle with this almost on a daily basis.
Nathan Morris is the family's attorney.
To shoot a young man who is running away with autism when they knew that to fire 11 bullets and hit him upwards of 6-7 times is offensive to most people.
Earlier this year, Salt Lake City asked a federal judge to dismiss the case, claiming qualified immunity. The request was denied, and now both parties announced the settlement. Salt Lake City released a statement that says, in part, while the settlement is not an admission of liability, the parties agree that LC's shooting was a tragedy. The settlement represents combined efforts to reach a compromise that resolves this case outside of formal litigation and provides LC with resources for long-term, lifetime care.
We made it known in the public statement that they continue to deny liability. Now let's just clarify, that is legal liability. That's not necessarily culpability or responsibility.
And Lyndon's family now hopes first responders across the country will complete ongoing training.
In August of 2023, Salt Lake County District Attorney Sim Gill announced that Officer Matthew Farillas would not face criminal charges. Gill acknowledged the shooting was not justified, but cited conflicting expert opinions that made prosecution unlikely to succeed.
This is an absolute tragedy in the sense that it got escalated to the point where the use of force was used. This was an avoidable shooting, and no parent should be afraid to call for assistance because they've got a child in distress. People in crisis who have not committed crimes, who are undergoing mental health crisis, we have to respond in a better way so we can avoid these kind of shootings in the future.
Prosecutors, though, say they will not file criminal charges against the officer who repeatedly fired his weapon.
We're outside the DA's office, and the mother of Lyndon Cameron says the decision here does not make sense. Warning, body cam video here is disturbing. Here's the mom on the DA's decision not to charge.
How can he say that it's not right, but then not hold him accountable for what he's done?
Golda Barton, mother of Lyndon Cameron, who survived this shooting at the hands of a Salt Lake officer in September 2020.
My son took 9 bullets. It's insane. My son was running away from them.
We ultimately conclude that this was an unjustified use of force.
But DA Sim Gill says no charges, in part because one of 2 outside experts called on by the DA's office to review the case said the shooting was reasonable.
But the conflict in itself creates doubt, and I have to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt.
So if you won't file on a case like this, then when will you?
Again, each analysis, Brian, is is fact specific.
He seemed like he was doing more of the defense attorney's work than the prosecutors. I've always been taught, oh, the police, if there's a problem, you just call the police. If they're the good guys. No, they're not. They're not the good guys.
Officer Farillas remained employed by the Salt Lake City Police Department, but was reassigned to modified duty. The department would go on and face ongoing criticism for its handling of mental health crisis. In response to the incident and public backlash, Salt Lake City partnered with Culture City to provide sensory-inclusive training to all first responders. Additionally, officials committed to expanding non-police crisis response teams and reviewing use of force protocols for calls involving individuals with disabilities. The shooting of Lyndon Cameron is a devastating example of how law enforcement can catastrophically mishandle a mental health crisis, especially involving a child with disabilities. Despite clear warnings from his mother, the failure to deploy properly trained crisis officers led to an avoidable tragedy. Lyndon, a 13-year-old boy in the midst of a mental health crisis, was not met with compassion or care, but with gunfire. While the $3 million settlement acknowledged the damage done, it did not deliver justice or accountability. Officer Matthew Farillas was never criminally charged, and the institutional failures that allowed this to happen were never fully addressed. Lyndon survived, but his life and his family's was irreversibly changed. This case is more than a lawsuit or a headline. It's a wake-up call. It exposes the urgent need for systemic change in how police respond to mental health emergencies. No family should ever have to fear that calling for help could get their child shot. Until reforms are matched with real accountability, the risk of another Lyndon Cameron remains dangerously high.
Where in the leg? Put a tourniquet on.